Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Commodity TV and a new edition of our virtual interview series. And we want to talk to one of the most successful exploration gold companies, Tudor Gold. And Ken Konkin, the Vice President of Exploration and Project Development, is here with us. Hey, good morning to Canada. How are you?
Good morning. Thank you for having us. Glad to be here. Glad to see you.
Glad to see you, Ken, in good shape. That's important because you are a very important factor for the company. And I must say, really unbelievable results you just presented. Before we dive into that, let us start with your fourth significant gold discovery at Treaty Creek on the calm before the storm project here. And I must say, wow, really interesting. 54 meters at 1.3 gram gold. I know you did it better like 2 days ago with the press release, but let's start with that. So the last months were very positive for you.
Yeah, it was, it's like every year we go through it with expectations of what we think we're going to find. And this was a great one. 3 for 3 on calm before the storm was our last, we call it our exit strategy because, as you know, we built a lower camp. It gains an extra month at the start of the field season and the end of the field season. This year we actually employed that, and it turned out to be a winner. We actually had field crews on it last year, but I don't really name it until we actually see it in a drill hole. So I was really happy to see drill hole number 2 come in with that spectacular intercept where we did see a much wider intercept than what happens at surface. It seems that the very superficial material is just the beginning of the system, and you'll note that the vectoring is in the correct direction. You'll see further press releases to support that because we still have one more hole to release on that. So it confirms what we found. Yeah.
Okay, super. And you did over 30,000 meters of drilling. Is that now all finished, or is there still something left?
No, correct. We've not reported on all the, there's about I would estimate 8,000 meters or less to report on, say 7,000 meters more to report. There's 8 more holes that we have coming in, and you're going to see some press releases come up. We just had to digest all this information like everything. You go out, you make a push to the end, and all of a sudden you get a glut of data that you've got to assimilate. So we've done a good job, I think, in interpretation and basically categorizing all our releases. So you'll see a fast succession of releases coming up shortly. I think it's too much information to put out if we try and do a hurry up because it gets confusing. But I think we're going to have some people will be surprised at what comes out of the next few press releases, just foreshadowing a bit. But I was very, very happy to see that we did the right thing with pulling off on Perfect Storm to get on to Gold Storm, because the hits that we got at the end were absolutely incredible. It shocked me, actually. I thought that system was waning out or fading out. I was actually hunting more the Deep Stalker 5, which is still there. I mean, we had to put all guns on bear on the 300 horizon and the ever growing the CS600, which is turning out to be a superstar domain. Really, it is, which is dynamic because it demonstrates how robust. When you think you know a system, how robust it is when you get shocking surprises like hole 113 W2. I mean, to me, that floored me. And that was a step out hole to the northwest of the system. So not only to the northwest of Goldstorm, the northeast of Goldstorm, the southeast of Goldstorm, all these fronts it's like having a series of prairie fires. You've got to try and put out every one of these things. They're just taking off. They're really, really picking up steam here. So I'm very, very happy to see that the 30,000 meters hit. We still haven't missed a single hole in the project other than one. And that one, I think, went down a dike up targeted. We've got holes that didn't get the target because we simply lost them. And to me, that doesn't count because you want the shot to count to where you want it to go to, which is where we're going to get to for next year. So we're ensuring ourselves, we're talking with our drilling company to ensure that they come in with full track mounted gear, things that we get for mobility. We're ready, getting our geological staff in order. All our support staff are all on notice that we're going hard. We're going in hard this next year, and we may actually ramp up more than just 6 rigs. We'll see. we'll see
Oh,
how it
okay.
goes.
Wow, that's quite hefty. Love to hear that because I'm a shareholder of your company too. So yeah, you named it already, Goldstorm, the whole 113W2, which is really crazy, I must say, because you have in the headline you wrote 1,320 meters at almost 1 gram gold equivalent, including
Yeah.
1.38 grams gold over 556 meters in a northwest step out hole. And this is, yeah,
Well,
really unbelievable for
that
me.
number, like we're now hitting these big intervals of half a kilometer of
Yeah.
sub 1.5 gram gold equivalents. But
Mhm.
the takeaway on that hole, that the shocking part about that 113W2 was the final 57 meters ran 2.34. It
Yeah.
was just picking up steam, and we did everything to get that the drill steel up. It was at 1,575 meter depth. I mean, we got out the bumper jack to get the head back up with the core in it. We did everything. We bust the head bolts off multiple times, and we've done that in the past. And if you recall back in 2020, every press release was a record-breaking press release like this one. So I don't know. I mean, it's shocking for me to see how big is a tagline I gave you last time, and how big is immense. We're going to be
Mhm.
immense. And
Mhm.
one of the theories we're working on currently is the success we had on Eureka. That
Mhm.
hole was a beautiful success, and there's going to be something coming up as a teaser in the next press release for you that will confirm the kind of size of target we're looking at. But the more important part of that aspect is we believe that may be linked to the lower DS5 component that actually comes up along that basal fault, that TTF2 or Treaty Thrust Fault 2, and it's one and the same. Eureka may actually be the upper reaches of DS5, which gives us an immense game-changing target. Geologically, it's a kilometer by 800 meters. It's a very large target to go after. So yeah, so when you have all these four things in place, plus the vectoring, the very last hole on Perfect Storm was our best hole. I believe we need to launch forward. So we're going to spend this short winter as trying to vector with geochemistry all of these things, including CBS, calm before the storm, all of the stuff we've got going on at Goldstorm. Our best targets, by the way, have yet to be drilled at Goldstorm. We never got in there. It's just that we got chased out by one element or another. So we'll get in there. I'm absolutely determined to get in tight and actually drill the holes we need to drill at Goldstorm to nail that one.
Mhm.
It's absolutely open in all directions still. Remember this, we were at 1 billion tons when we started this thing. We've launched the goalposts forward, the yardsticks forward here. We're marching forward in volume, and the grade's getting better. So that goal that I had of what I did for my summer vacation of converting 7.9 million ounces of inferred to M&I, well, that was a push. We never got dark green rock with dead value. So now I take the 7.9, but A, I think it becomes a bigger volume, and B, I believe it's a higher grade that we're chasing.
Mhm.
Just the clue is for you, have a look at the resource. The M&I has the 0.74. If you look at the resource on the inferred, it's got the 0.79. It's a better
Mhm.
grade because those inferred numbers are higher grade for a reason. They're in the northeast quadrant, which is better grades.
Wow, fantastic. What also caught my interest when I went through your press release is that you have now 0.5% copper, 6 grams silver, 17 grams silver,
Yeah.
0.7% copper. Is that also a bit of a game changer?
Excellent point, because the actual within the domains, as much as they are similar, they have unique characteristics, like all of them at the KSM. There's some similarities, but in absolutely true, there's differences. So with our approach of the geochemistry, looking at it, correct, that copper had come up to as high as 0.7, 0.7% copper, and over, I don't quote me, but over 100 and almost. It's in the last press release we're actually working on. Let me have a look at it. Yeah, it was a
Yep.
0.77, but it actually came
Mhm.
in about a 0.5 over the entire
Yep.
400 meter interval. So it was actually quoted in that press release. And to me, this polymetallic nature with this ubiquitous silver. And one of the interesting aspects, the strongest silver that we had was at CBS, the calm before the storm. And the ironic nature about that, to us, it's looking to have some characteristics that are younger that may indicate potentially that we're dealing with a VMS. So when you look at that silver rich or richer aspect of it, getting closer to the heart of that center of mass, if you will, of the system, we spoke to some very well known experts in the area that are working with the Eskay Creek deposits, and they told us when we showed them the rocks, they said, guys, you're not near the pile, you're in the pile. And they're very, very excited to see what we've got, we're going to go forward with. So again, it'll probably be a startup program with calm before the storm because we can get to it sooner. We're right beside water. That creek flows year round. We're 100 meters off from the kitchen. I mean, honestly, that drill turns 24/7. The guys are going to go for all the baking and stuff when they smell it. They'll run back and forth. It's a walk-to job at that point. And so when we actually look at these things, we try and design the program to where we take advantage of what we can get while we pick the low-hanging fruit, if we will, when we can get it. So CBS might be the lead-off target and the end target for next year. The more difficult, longer one's going to be Perfect Storm because water doesn't start flowing in the area until probably July, mid to late July. So that's got a shortened window. We just don't necessarily want to put 7 kilometers of water lines out there and start pumping. We'll want to try and do it economically. The other one clearly is Upper Camp, is Eureka. So that's another walk-to job site that we want the track-mounted drills to have the mobility to go from pad to pad so that we can do drill moves at 3 o'clock in the morning like we did successfully in the past. And we do it because we don't need the helicopter for that. So again, we'll start off with the same concept, same approach of jumping in and getting all our winter road will be activated. I'll talk to our new neighbors, Newcrest to the south, our new owners to Pretium, and make our introductions in the new year because they're probably in the transition right now. But in the past, Pretium was excellent with this, and I want to thank Jacques Perron and all his team for giving us that support when they did. That was very important to us.
Super, fantastic. If we put that all into a perspective, because finally you want to have a mine there, right?
Of course, yeah. That's the goal. That is the goal. No doubt about it. But again, I'm going to go back to the last interview we had, is that my goal is to look for the center of mass of gold for the project, overall project. So what happens if we drill another hole, say, under the calm before the storm, and we hit the core of the system? Now, is it going to be an underground target? Is it going to be a block cave target? Is it going to be a narrow, higher grade thing? We don't know. Same thing. I'm not letting go of my like a junkyard dog with a bone. I'm not going to let go of my concept of BOK2 possibly being at the perfect storm because of that Bruce Jack Lake fault with the structure, with absolutely the best thrust hosted series is the KSM Tudor trend of probably 8 deposits coming up. Arguably, they may be all deposits. With that, with the recent discovery that Pretium had, it goes to my theory. It goes to that theory that Bruce Jack Lake fault having the proximity to it. So if you have a chance find for a VOK2, I would like to have it be on our project at the intersection of 2 regional faults, being the Sulphurettes or the Treaty Thrust Fault 1 and Bruce Jack Lake Fault. So PS, the perfect storm for me is a really important target. So where do you go? Where do you go and what do you start hunting right away, right? So it's almost overwhelming that the amount of targets we've got. I started adding up the drills I want to put. I think I lost count at 12 in a Christmas wish list, of course. But we have to be reasonable about it, and we actually act on every hit. So, like I did correctly, pulled off PS2 because you only got X amount of bullets in a year. We had 30,000 meter preliminary program. We actually wanted to do a 60,000 meter program, but we had our guys come back from break and had a screening process. Well, on the way back, they picked up COVID, so we had to isolate them. So we had them. They were put in isolation in Stewart for 3 weeks, and we lost drills. They were sitting. I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, it was we had 6 rigs sitting there, but 3.5 are running. That's why the production was so much lower than 2020, because 2020 we pulled off 46,500 meters with the same 6 rigs, same crew basically. And this year we only got 30,000 because of that deflating aspect where we had to sit guys out. They had to sit. They had to get better, and otherwise we would have been in a situation where it was shut down. And we're lucky we had that, and we thank Seabridge for that because they have the medics there that have that screening aspect, and we share that. We come in and share equipment at times, and we are doing things together to try to save costs going forward. So for me, I think it's a miracle that during the peak of COVID, we've almost pulled off 80,000 meters flawlessly in 2 years. So seamlessly, we're going along here with great success. So, I mean, we want, sooner or later, your bubble's going to burst when you hit the end of the pit walls, but I don't see it coming this year. I don't know. I think the magnitude and strength of that mineralization is so strong that I think it's going to take another regional fault or an absolute unforeseen intrusive that we didn't see stops it. Otherwise, it's going to roll. That volcanic pile is not getting bigger.
But that brings me, of course, to the question. I mean, you now it sounds to me a bit you want to drill forever. So where is the next step?
Well, let's look at Pratium. They're still drilling forever. I mean, that's not a bad thing.
But they are producing.
How we make bread and butter. Come on, this is what I am. That's my wheelhouse, right? You never stop exploring. I mean, never stop exploring because we haven't even talked about the satellite targets. Let's put things in order here. Absolutely, did I do the right thing when I pulled the drills off? Because I want to advance Goldstorm. Goldstorm will be a mine. It will be a mine, in my opinion. I think. When you look at the starter pits on, say, Copper Bell with the upper portion of 300 horizon, you're looking at roughly 6 million ounces before you start chunking into any strip ratio. What if we start taking zero strip at Eureka? What if that turns into being a pit? What if, and by the way, that last drill hole, Perfect Storm 6, hit about 30 meters of about a gram right at the surface, right? And the ice was only 40 meters there. It was nothing. Our ablation rate at the toe is, I calculate it's 142 meters a year is the drop pullback. So we're seeing, and if you wonder why we discovered calm before the storm while nobody else did, well, it was discovered last year because it's the first time it was exposed. So it is now back. So we look at where that toe of the glacier is, it's a long ways away. It's 180 meters away from where we were last year or 2 years ago. So it's clawing back at a breakneck speed. So nobody else would have seen it. That's the answer. It was there in alteration. If you look at the alteration halo, and I've mentioned this in the previous press release, it's large. It's got to be 400 to 500 meters by at least 800 meters is the alteration envelope of that system. So when you actually concentrate on that and you clue in and you vector in like we did for the surface values, which way we thought we had to go with the orientation of the stratigraphic layering, we'll call it for now. I don't want to come on and say it is a VMS. We suspect it might be or have ties to it. However, it's one of these things that you won't know until you do the petrography, you do everything, because everything can look like it. I mean, the argument's still raging on at Escape. What was the contributing factor for the gold? Was it the VMS or was it the epithermal, the hydrothermal event? Same thing if you look at some of the other veins that were famous back in the late 70s. The Tenajon project was another one. It was clearly a vein at base, but if you came up the surface, no doubt about it. I agree with what Harlan Mead had said. It was a VMS. Looked at it, I agree. That was clearly VMS. So definitely get components of everything. Like the Zacatecana trend, Zacatecas, you'll have a massive stockwork, you'll have vein, then you'll have VMS, and you'll have SETX, all in the trend. That was the pulse that I actually drew from to actually predict where the calm before the storm would be. So these are the big ones, right? There are satellite ones too, these. There's not only, if you sat down and you had a good session with my good friend Richard Silito, he'll show you these intrusive related models. Then you get scarns off to the side, you get the epithermal veins. The Konkin gold zone is exactly that. They're like these tentacles off this big beast that are the breakthrough high-grade gold, copper events that happen. Same thing at Josephine Ridge at Snowfields. There's these very high-grade gold, silver events that happen on the edges of these intrusive related or porphyry-related systems, and skarns, and VMS aren't too far away, but they have to be on the rift, right? It's very time domain specific. That's why it's tough for hunting a VMS by far. Just ask my good friend Ken McNaughton when he was finishing off at Kratom. He did some excellent work, some really good. His team were top notch on VMS hunting, and they had it dialed in. So they're close to a discovery there. But ironically, CBS is on trend to that. That's the irony of it. It turned out to be bang on trend.
Super.
Maybe horseshoes, I don't know, but every dog has his day, and I had my day with that. My team, so we did okay, 3 for 3. So I'm looking forward to 2022. I am. It's going to be a good year.
Super. And you have the money for that to drill?
Oh yeah, we've got 15 million, but it's like everything. It's like a Christmas wish list. What you want to do with it? I would honestly, I would love to put 7-8 holes drills on just Goldstorm to finish it off. Get it done, and then put at least 2 to 3 hole drills on Perfect Storm. I could easily put 4 drills on that. And once we find the center of mass, it absolutely becomes rope drilling. It's like playing Battleship. Once you've got that big aircraft carrier, you're in. You just keep bombing the area, and that's what we're going to have to do eventually. So when you say it's going to take a lot, but here's the thing with that comment. You're no longer hunting 18 million ounces, 15 million ounces. You're now hunting in the area of 50, 60, 70 million ounces is the target. That's the geological target now. It no longer is, because let's be honest about it. What do you think Goldstorm would be after you've converted the inferred to the measured and indicated? Once you've converted that, we started last year in 2021, the beginning, with 1 billion tons, just a little more than 1 billion tons is what the goal, what the starting target, the resource was. And now, based on marching forward 300 meters to the front, and it's not just 300 meters on a lineal scale, it's that depth component. The volume increases exponentially. So for every section going forward, it's absolutely a mind-boggling of what the potential is. I think we're going to surpass snowfields, which is always my goal, to get past the 1.4 billion ton mark, which I hope we're there. But when you convert everything, and we're still wide open with the strongest mineralization, and one of the takeaways that I couldn't participate with the meeting, and I wish I was there, with Newcrest, was they sat down and they said to us that the deeper the better with these sub-level block caves, because they need that depth potential to flush out the material for that hydrostatic pressure. So I liked hearing that, because I was initially, when I came to this project, I thought, oh Lord, do I have to drill a 1,200 meter hole? Because I didn't think it was very viable. But they're saying, oh no, deeper is better. So the things that I've learned as an explorationist for 40 years is actually a great thing, because I've always said, it sounds like a lunatic statement, but you just have to be smart enough to listen, because the rocks do the talking. You just have to see what they're saying. And
just listen
that's
carefully.
When you tell me the story again, they're still talking. So I've done a lot of my soul searching on ridgetops in that area, and I'm telling you, I'm still being schooled by the rocks. It's a beautiful thing. It really is.
Super. Perfect. Ken, thank you very much. It was 23 minutes. I can't believe it. But really, absolutely. And really, smashing me. I'm happy to be a shareholder, and I will buy some more shares, definitely. Because it looks like that you have a super monster.
Well, keep in mind, domains within domains, right? So it's getting stronger. I mean, when you look at the overall resource, people say, oh, well, that's a global resource. We've got domains with much higher grades. And one of the numbers I want to, just as a closing statement, I want to bring to your attention was, there was a number in here, 4.07 grams over 78 meters. Over 4 grams gold equivalent over 78 meters. Put that in a press release out there with an average company, see what it does to it. Those are the things we're concentrating
on. Not that many.
These sharp pockets of enrichment. So looking forward to seeing you again, and look forward to more of the same, I hope.
Okay.
For 2022.
Super. Perfect. Ken, thank you very much. All the best.
Stay safe.
Please keep us hitting hard with good results, and we talk soon. I have a good feeling.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that was Ken Konkin, the Vice President, Exploration and Project Development of Tudor Gold. Yeah, honestly, to summarize this up, that's quite impossible. The only thing what I can say is have a very close look at this stock and make sure you get some. I will definitely buy some more. I'm absolutely smashed after that interview. And this is really fantastic. This is not only elephant territory, this is monster territory. And this is outstanding geology, outstanding drill results, which you see extremely seldom. And I think, yeah, Ken and the team have done an absolutely exciting job here and really fantastic. And there's much more in the pipeline. Stay tuned. Thanks for watching us, and bye-bye from Switzerland.